What's going on, guys? It's Curt here, and today I'm bringing you HWBL Week 1 versus Ethan. This is a newer draft league. I've only just started, so this is a Wi-Fi league as well. So I'll bring up my draft and his draft. So I have Tapu Koko, Landorus Incarnate, Necrozma, Mega Blastoise, Forretress, Alolan Mach, Dragalge, Hawlucha, Mamoswine, Umbreon, and Leaveney. Ethan has Tapu Lele, Excadrill, Rotom Wash, Salamence, Gigalith, Mega Alakazam, Shaman, Alolan Marowak, Drapion, Licky Licky, and Mudsdale. So for week 1 I brought Rapid Spinning Blastoise with Dark Pulse, Water Pulse, Rapid Spin, and Ice Beam with just enough speed to outspeed a 60 speed defensive Rotom Wash. I brought Landorus Incarnate with Rock Polish, Sludge Wave, Earth Power Knockoff, holding the Pasho Berry so that I could take one Hydro Pump from a Rotom Wash. I brought Alolan Mach with the Assault Vest, just a max speed, max attack set with Knockoff, Pursuit, Gunk Shot, and Facade. I had Pursuit so that I could trap the Tapu Lele and potentially Megazam if he did bring that. I have Umbreon, which is Wish, Protect, Foul Play, Toxic. It's more specially defensive as it's to take Moonblasts from Tapu Lele and from Mega Alakazam Focus Blast. I then brought Hawlucha with the Electric Seeds, Swords Dance, Acrobatics, High Jump Kick, Drain Punch. This was just enough speed for Sandrush, Excadrill, or for a Salamence at +2. I then had Tapu Koko, which was Life Orb, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, Hidden Power, Ice. I was modest with just enough speed for Mega Salamence, which at that point I killed everything on the draft. So without further ado, let's get into this game. He brought Rotom Wash, Tapu Lele, Excadrill, Licky Licky, Gigalith, and Mudsdale. I was expecting Mega Alakazam, but I think the Alolan Mach forced him not to bring that as it Pursuit trapped, and Mega Alakazam couldn't do much in return. So here I'm just going to lead off with my Mega Blastoise, just in case he did lead with anything other than Rotom Wash. He's going to bring out Rotom Wash, and here I'm just forced to switch out into Umbreon. So the Umbreon switch in here was so that I could get off a Wish. I ate any hit. He was forced to bring in something that could deal with this. I could Toxic anything other than Excadrill, Foul Play, hit Excadrill hard. So Umbreon here was the mid-ground play, and it was the safest play as I couldn't risk a Hydro Pump onto my Landorus or a Volt Switch onto my Hawlucha. I needed Mach with as much HP as possible as well. So he's just going to fire off the Volt Switch and go out into his Mudsdale. So here I was debating what I should do. So I went for the Protect, just in case I had to scout for close combat, as that did over 50% of my health. But he does click the Earthquake, which reveals that he doesn't have close combat, so I'm just going to go for the Toxic. He then goes for the Heavy Slam, which does a good about 25 to 30%. So I then withdraw into my Mega Blastoise as it eats any hit from this, as he doubles out into his Gigalith. So at this point I felt it was probably safer to go for a Dark Pulse rather than a Water Pulse, as if he went into Rotom it would resist the Water Pulse, and Water Pulse would really do nothing to it in return. Dark Pulse hit everything on his draft, as he didn't bring any switch-ins to this, except for maybe Assault Vested Lele, but that really didn't want a modest Dark Pulse. The Sandstorm is going to buff at my Blastoise. I'm just going to Mega and go straight for the Dark Pulse. I stayed in here as I was predicting him to not be a offensive or more speedy Rotom than what it actually is. I'm expecting him to be 60 as he reveals the leftovers. After the game I found out that he was a little faster than whatever Blastoise I could bring. He does go out into Tapu Lele here, as I just fire off a second Dark Pulse. I'm doing a nice 50% to that. So here I'm forced to double out into my Alolan Muck as he goes for the Moonblast. So at this point I was debating whether I went for the Gunk Shot or whether I Pursuit Trapped. Because if I went for Gunk Shot I killed, but if he went into Excadrill then I didn't do anything. If I Pursuit Trapped and he switched into Excadrill, then I think I killed at that point. So he lost his Lele there if I Pursuit Trapped. So Moonblast does almost 50%. The Sandstorm will take me closer to 50%. He's just going to fire off a second Moonblast and stay in here. I did go for the Pursuit, expecting him to switch out into Excadrill, which he doesn't. Sandstorm unfortunately does not kill, it hangs on barely. So here I'm forced to sack my Muck, and he will lose his Tapu Lele to Sandstorm. He brings in Excadrill as I bring in my Umbreon. I know that my Umbreon can take anything from this Excadrill, as it's relatively fat. It takes about 50% from the Earthquake and does 75% with a Foul Play. So I know he's adamant just from the Foul Play damage. I go for the Protect here, see what he's going to do. He goes for the Earthquake again. So I'm feeling like he's choice locked into something. So I'm forced to switch out into Landorus because I don't want to lose Umbreon, as he does reveal that he is forced into... He's locked as he switches out into the Mudsdale. I go for the knockoff, I boost his defense and I get rid of this Assault Vest. Toxic will rack up on this. With the Assault Vest I know that he can't get rid of my Poison with Rest. So that was good. I go into Hawlucha, he clicks Facade, do 60%, so I'm forced back into my Mega Blastoise to sack this thing. Unfortunately, Mega Blastoise didn't get to do anything else other than the chip damage. Here I can just go straight back into Umbreon and fire off a Wish at any point, as he does go into the Gigalith. So I get off my Wish freely. The Sandstorm buffets and I restore my HP with leftovers. I went for the Toxic here because I knew he would predict the Protect and get up either a Stealth Rocks or double out into Excadrill or something, so I went for the Toxic just as the mid-ground play. Unfortunately, I miss my Toxic and he gets up his Stealth Rocks for free. So that sort of hurts, but I get my Wish off and I'm back to relatively full HP after the Sandstorm. So, relatively good turn there. He withdraws out into his Mudsdale again, as I go for a Toxic again. I wasn't going to risk him staying in and not being Toxic, so I just went for the Toxic again. Here I just go for the Wish, just to see how much this Facade will do. It does about 30%, so I know that I can stay in here and I don't have to worry. As he does double out into his Excadrill, he's forced to sack Excadrill really here, because there's nothing he can do. He has really nothing to deal with this Umbreon now that his Tapu Lele is dead. So Umbreon was a big wall in this match. So getting rid of Excadrill was big because now I didn't have to worry about it outspeeding my Tapu Koko. He brings in the Licky Licky. I was scared of Toxic as he does go for the knockoff though. So unfortunately I lose my leftovers, but I do manage to get damage off with... I get my Wish up in the air. He fires off a Wish, and I get my health back. So here he withdraws into Mudsdale. So he's Wish Pass into this Mudsdale to keep it healthy with the Facade. This is a big problem for my team, as I can't really touch this. Foul Play doesn't really do any damage, as he reveals Counter. So that's unfortunate, as I can't just spam Foul Plays. So I have to Wish here, because otherwise I lose Umbreon. He brings in the Gigalith again, as I switch out into Tapu Koko. Here Tapu Koko was the best play, but I do avoid the Toxic, which is nice. I get my health back, and he goes out into the Licky Licky as I reveal Grass Knot. It does 25%, which reveals he's Spadef Licky Licky. I did do the damage calcs at that point. He is Spadef Licky Licky. So Thunderbolt is 2-hit KOing here, but he does get the Wish off. So unfortunately Tapu Koko is just taking extra damage as it's trying to chip things up. Here I make the probably one of the worst predictions, I mean, in the match. I knew he would switch into his Mudsdale, but I still went for Volt Switch. I don't know why I went for Volt Switch. If I had clicked Grass Knot there, I probably would have killed this thing, and it would have been a much easier matchup, as I wouldn't have to deal with the Licky Licky. But he does go into Mudsdale as I fire off a Volt Switch, so Tapu Koko doesn't do anything. He does get his Wish back, but the poison damage puts him in range of modest Grass Knot killing. So I do manage to kill this Mudsdale the next turn, but if I had have killed it the turn before, I wouldn't have taken an extra turn of chip damage, and I would have been able to hard switch. Here he just goes into Gigalith, and I switch out into Umbreon, not really wanting to risk anything, and Umbreon will die to the Sandstorm damage after a Rock Slide. I go back into Tapu Koko, taking the Stealth Rocks damage. I didn't get a chance to remove Stealth Rocks because I lost Blastoise too early. Clicking Grass Knot and doing about 75-ish% as he just clicks Earthquake and kills my Tapu Koko. So here I just go into Hawlucha. At this point he really has nothing to deal with this Hawlucha. Get the Electric Seed boost and click Drain Punch. At this point in the game it was pretty much over and Hawlucha wins from here. His best answer for this was Rotom, and it really didn't do anything because it just died to a high jump kick because of the Dark Pulse chip earlier. Here I just went for the Drain Punch. I knew he would protect. At this point I messaged him and he told me to click high jump kick as he went for a double protect. He does get it, and he lands double protect and I take extra chip damage on high jump kick. He tries for the triple protect here as I just go for high jump kick again, but unfortunately he doesn't land it, and so Hawlucha claims its third kill. So with that, we win 3-0 over Ethan for week 1 of the HWBL. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next week for week 2 of the HWBL.